Okay, they'll have this formation. So the formation will depends on the opponent itself. We won't use the same formation for all countries. Example, India, if playing with New Zealand, they'll have different strategy based on the opponent's strength. So I have identified previously, okay, New Zealand is good with this, for example. And we cannot play like how we are playing with, maybe what is that, South Africa. Because the way they play, different. So that is called strategy. Changing how you play, the plan before you play, is called as strategy. Okay? So the data of game analysis will help you to decide which type of strategy or tactical you want to use for certain specific countries. Okay, it will also help us to identify or evaluate opponents' pattern and prepare counter strategies. Okay, when it comes to team sport, we talk about strategies. How do you do this? How do we start and all? But when it comes to evaluating individual athlete, example, you have 11 players in football. So each players have their role, depends on the position they are playing. Okay, so each position will have certain criteria for you to tell whether they are a good player or they are average player. For example, for a goalkeeper, how do you evaluate a goalkeeper's success? How do you evaluate? How do you say he's a good goalkeeper or he's not a good goalkeeper? Number of saves. Number of saves. They don't score goal. Okay, goalkeepers, the role is to stop the ball from entering the net. So that is the number one top indicator to say whether he's a good goalkeeper or not. Second, after that, a goalkeeper, what will be the best indicator to say he's a good goalkeeper?
The movement of the goalkeeper.
What do you mean?
The movement. Jump right.
You just came, you don't know what we are talking about. I don't want any feedback from you. Okay, whoever came late, I don't want any feedback. Just the one who came at 9:30, you can give feedback. And I won't answer any of your questions for the entire session. I told you all, what is the house rule? What is the house rule? Number one, be punctual. As simple as that. Okay? Goalkeeper, the number of goal, the saved. And?
How many times he kicks it to the...
Yes. Number of ball, he passed to his player. Whether to his right, to his left, or which position he played. We don't. The error will be when he passed the ball, and then it goes to the opponent's side. Okay. That is for us to evaluate opponent or even our athletes' pattern. How do they play? And then track the performance progress over time. So number of save in one competition, another championship, another championship, another championship, following by, you track the progress, whether they are improving or they are not improving. They are declining, their progress is declining. Okay, what are the methods in game analysis? What the methods in game analysis mostly will based on video-based analysis. Is there any other method other than video-based analysis? Observation. How far can we remember if we observe? How far? Yes, it is a method used before video exists. Someone has done analysis. Okay, before video exists. Okay, so based on the observation, but we cannot remember everything. You can observe and write down during live. If the match is happening, let's say the game is going on, you are writing down a pass, you're drawing everything. But if you want to validate back what you did is right or not, you don't have any data. You don't have data to validate what you did. Okay? So reviewing match footage to tag events and assess performance. Tag event means we will tag what happened. We're going to do a practical today. We will do some notational analysis tagging. Okay, notational analysis, recording key events. Okay, key events such as number of passes, number of shots, number of tackles in real time or post-match analysis. Okay, notational analysis, meaning that you record the key events which you think it's important for the sports. Okay, you are recording the key events. Whether you are writing down or you're using software to identify once you identify the key events, you're like, if you pass the ball, 1. He pass again, 2. He pass again, 3. That is you recording how many times the passes has. The outcome of the pass can be what? What will be the outcome of the pass? If I pass the ball, what can happen to the ball? Either it goes to my teammate, or it goes to opponent's teammate, or goal, or outside. That's the outcome. That is the outcome. But the key event, what am I doing? I'm passing the key event here. Okay, so you need to know what are the key events in your sports that you're playing. Okay, if it's, what is that? It goes back to the rules also. Like volleyball, how many times you can play within your team? 3 times. You can play more than that. You cannot play more than that. Okay? And then you have to send the ball across the net to your opponent. So the key events that you're interested, recording the key events. We also call this as performance indicator. Performance indicator. Okay? And then those data you will get in statistical analysis. We'll do, let's say they perform 10 passes, 5 successful. What is the percentage? 50%. Okay? Statistical analysis. 10 passes, 5 successful, another 2 went out. How many percentage went out? 2 out of 10. 20%. Okay, you can have this statistic. So imagine if you have this statistic of key events such as passes or shots in target. Let's say you have data for 10 matches for one athlete. How will it look like? You know, 10 shots, he scored 2, 20% success rate. And then next match, 20 passes or 20 shots, he scored 5. How many percentage is that? 25%. So you know his success rate is increasing. Success rate of his shot. Okay, or number of tackles. Depends on the position. Like we said, these key events go back to the objective of that individual who's playing that position. You cannot count key events. Example, you have a number of balls saved. You cannot use that for striker. That is the key indicator for goalkeeper. Okay? But you can have tackles, because everyone tackle. The striker will tackle, the defenders will tackle, the midfield will tackle, the right wing, left wing, even the keeper sometimes you will tackle. So it can be used for overall athletes. Okay, it can be interpreted into statistical data from performance indicator. Okay, GPS and wearable tracking, monitoring movement patterns and overloads. We can also incorporate GPS into this data, showing that what are the distance they covered during the match. So from there, what we can see is number of shots. Okay, number of shots by time, 90 minutes. And if you see all the missing targets is after, let's say, 75 minutes. So we can assume that it can caused by what? If they start to miss a lot of shots or lot of mistake after 75 minutes. A football match is 90 minutes. Okay? 45 minutes first half, 45 minutes second half. If someone is making a lot of mistake after 70 or 75 minutes, what does it mean? Fatigue take over. They are getting tired. So usually what the coaches will do, they'll put tracker on them to cover what is the distance they are covering for the match. So during training, we already put marker trackers to see when will they start to fatigue, get tired. It go back to individual fitness level. It go back to individual fitness level. If someone, by looking at the heart rate, we know, oh, he'll get tired after he runs 10 kilometers. When we see someone already covered 10 kilometers, what do? Switch him. Okay, you come out, you go in, because we have data to support that. When he's tired, he will tend to make a lot of errors. We don't want errors in our game. So this is how this data will be used for game analysis. We have Catapult. I think someone asked me, right, about Catapult. We have a GPS tracker, a lot of trackers now available. If you see footballers, when they take out their shirt, have you seen them wearing like a sports bra? That's where they place the tracker, at the place where they won't have contact with any balls or what. Usually it's behind here. Yes.
How do you check? Sometimes it's always physical. How about if the player is fit at 75 minutes, but the pressure is getting to him, he's losing motivation, the crowd is probably too wild and is affecting the way he's playing.
Okay.
How do you measure psychological
Okay, we have this indicator to see how their cycle, when they get, example, when they get angry. Okay, like if you measure my heart rate now, it will be high because people coming in very late. I don't like that. My heart rate will be very high now if you measure. Okay, because like I said, that is the reason. First day I state very clearly house rules, and still people coming walking in. Is it common here? You all okay with that? Not respecting your lecturer in front? Okay, answering your question. So one of the way we know when they are demotivated or they are exhausted psychologically, one, we can see that from their speed of movement. Because they run for the ball. When you see if you are demotivated or psychologically you don't feel good, you can see the sprinting, the acceleration speed will reduce, which we can get through this data. Then we know, oh, he's not at his best. That can be caused by physical or it can cause by psychological. But directly, if you want direct numbers to measure psychological, we cannot do that. So the coaches knows the players well. When I look at someone walking into the field, I know is he at his optimum level or not. That's the coach's role to look. When I look at the body language, I know, okay, I think I have to switch him. I have to change, substitute him. That is something subjective, but objectively, usually, will based on the heart rate data. Okay, he's not doing much activity, but his heart rate is high. Then it cannot cause by physical. So something is happening. Okay, he's not recovering after his maximum. He's not recovering fast. That is not. That is physical. Then we know if he's not recovering, then we need to remove him. Okay, so we have data baseline for every athlete. Actually, we have a norms. We know who can perform what at their best during training. So anything we have like 80%. Anything goes below 80 or 70, okay, sub him. Okay? Okay, now we're going to look into what are the type of analysis available that we can do. Okay, qualitative and quantitative analysis. Qualitative and quantitative. What is qualitative? Qualitative, quantitative. Okay, this looks into quality of a performance. Okay, did we yeah, for the past 2 days, did we do qualitative analysis? Qualitative analysis doesn't involve numbers. Will not involve numbers. There's no numbers. You won't say his knee angle is 60 degree, his knee angle is 30 degrees during his mid stance. You will not say that. You will say, I think his shoulder is a bit to his right. Example, yesterday, what's his name? Yogesh. Yesterday, Yogesh, when who's your subject? Who was your subject yesterday? You right? Srinivas. Where is he? So when by observing, he noticed that his right leg has longer contact time than his left leg. His left leg. He didn't count the time. He didn't see how many seconds full contact, how many seconds contact. He didn't count. But by observation, he noticed that his left leg is having longer contact time than his right leg. So he's evaluating it qualitatively based on the quality of the movement. Okay, so what caused that? Then he asked the subject, do you have any previous history of injury? Just this is by observation. He didn't calculate anything. Just by observing, you can give feedback based on your experience working before. Okay, and then he said, what injury? A knee injury before. Okay, so that might answer the question of why he's having longer contact time. So what will happen if you have longer contact time? You'll have too much load on your one side load compared to here. Okay, that is called qualitative analysis. Can you give me the words or the terms that you can use to describe a movement qualitatively?
Faster.
Good, faster, slow, fitter, more, less, quicker, accurate. What else? Usually if you look at someone's shoulder, if one side, how will you say that? Symmetrical. You can use a simple term as high or low. One side is high, one side is low. Or you can use scientific terms. So try to use the terms as simple as so that the patient can understand. We are not trying to prove that I know all these words. No, we are not here to show that what we know. We are here to solve the problem. So in order to solve the problem, you don't have to know English, you don't have to know any language. You need to know the language that your patient can understand. If you cannot understand your language, how do you explain? Qualitatively, when you're doing analysis, you're explaining. You are from different background, he's from different background. He or she don't understand English. You only can speak English. So how do you explain? Sign language, hand gestures. Yes, you call someone who can talk their language in your field. Okay, sometimes sign language will mean something else for you. For him, it will mean something else. So call someone of your colleagues or someone from your field who can understand what you're saying. We don't want him to misinterpret what you're saying qualitatively. So that should be someone who's from your field. Okay? That is called focus on movement quality. Decision making. Movement quality, high, low, fast, slow, all this. Okay? How about decision making? How do you interpret qualitatively? Pass the ball fast. Do the transition now. Now. Do it now. Now. You always hear a coach use these words from the side of the field, you know. What other words do you, any football here? Footballer? No? What are the common terms they use? Position. Position. Come back to your position. When you're attacking, the opponent have the ball, they'll come. Cover back your position. Come back to your position. Those are the words you can use for decision making. Okay? For tactical execution. Qualitatively. Okay. Now, quantitative is when it involve numbers. Quantitative involve numbers, like what we did yesterday. We tried to measure what's the objective for yesterday? Yes. Knee angle during how many? Gate cycle. 4 gate cycle. Okay, 4 gate cycle. Can you repeat what is the first movement called? And then? I thought there's 7. 7 got 6 events in between. Huh? Yes. So the bigger phase, what happened here and here? The bigger, the 2 components in swinging phase, stance phase and swinging phase. Okay? Okay, uses numerical data, numbers like pass complete rate, success rate. Okay, what is the speed from GPS? What is the speed or shot accuracy? How do you measure shot accuracy? How do you measure shot accuracy? How many times shots made to the intended target? If I'm if my intention is to throw the ball, okay, throw the ball to Yogesh. If he catch, is it accurate? Is it accurate? We are not calling. We are talking about shot accuracy, not goal, not scoring. So we need to be very clear with the words that we use.
But if he doesn't catch, that is not your.
Yes, that is what I'm asking. If I'm throwing to him, okay, if he catch the ball, if he catch whatever that I'm throwing, will it count as shot accurate or not accurate? You see, that is why you have to be very clear with the definition. Every indicators, these are our indicators. Shot accuracy is an indicator. If I ask you to count shot accuracy, and if I ask you to count shot accuracy, you will be counting something else, you will be counting something else. Because you look at it differently, every individual will look at it differently. That is why we need to have a very clear description about what are we talking about. Okay, shot accuracy is the amount of receive. How many times he is received? How many times ball come to him? Or I make an attempt to throw, okay, and reach to that person. His success rate is not shot accuracy. Receiving. Later you talk about him. Now we are talking about me. My shot accuracy. The indicator is for me. Like someone said whether he catch or not. That is not my problem. My problem, did I send the ball to him? Yes. Second time when I send, it goes away. Is it accurate? No. But he still managed to catch. He get 1, I get 0. I sent to him, the ball I sent to him, reached him, I get 1, he didn't catch, he gets 0. Is it clear? 0 meaning unsuccessful, 1 meaning successful, okay? 0 and 1. Okay? So combining both approaches offers the most comprehensive insights. Okay? We need to combine both qualitatively and quantitatively in order to get the best out of game analysis. Okay, sometimes they call game analysis, sometimes they call video analysis. Okay, it's all the same. It all come back to this. Okay, now let's get into, in general, we'll look into general. For our second session, we'll go into in detail based on sports. Okay, what are key performance indicators? Key KPIs vary by sport, but typically covers physical, technical, tactical, and psychological domains. So one of the KPI just now Madam asked is psychological KPI. How do we measure psychological KPI? From videos. Okay. Technique, when I talk about shot accuracy, where will it come? Technical, tactical, physical or psychological? When we are talking about shot accuracy, which category of KPI will it come? No, technique. Tactical is when I throw that. I'm throwing while I'm running, while I'm standing, or someone is coming, I pass him and I throw. The situation we are putting into is called tactical. So we need to be very careful with how we define things. Technical is what are we doing? Technical is what? What is technical? What are we doing? I'm kicking, I'm throwing, I'm running, all the events that I'm doing. Okay? Tactical is when am I doing that? When am I throwing this? During offensive? During defensive? When we talk about situation, it will come under tactical. Are we clear here? Okay? How about physical? What are the KPIs you can have for physical? Huh? The speed of the, you reach the ball. The speed of running. You can get through one of the KPI. What else? Endurance. Power. How we cannot measure, indirectly, yes. Directly, there's no device to measure the power directly from a video. We are talking about when you have a video, what are we measuring from a video footage? His reaction. That's physical. We can know when the ball comes, how fast he react to the situation. Okay? That is physical. What is that? Physical. What is it? Agility, how agile. Okay, if you have a standard to measure agility, you can measure. Okay, how fast he pass someone and then change direction, and then he go left again, then you can measure that. But you need to have a standardized guideline to measure all this. If not, you will wrongly measure something else for your next analysis if you don't have a standard guideline. What do you mean by agility? Write it down. Agility meaning that, okay, I will count the number of agility based on how many opponents did he tackle and go. He passed through. More than 2, I'll give 3 points. More than 4, I'll give him 4 points. If you successfully manage to dribble the ball against the opponents, 3, 4, 5. More than 5, he'll get full marks, 5 points. Depends on how you want to use those data. Remember, we always go back to, we don't do for the sake of doing. We do because that data should be meaningful. Once you measure that, when first, let's say most of them, they have only 1 and 2. Then you have to work on your physical agility. Because from the data shows that out of 11 players, 7 or 8 of them, when you measure agility, they only have 1 or 2. They cannot pass second player. Because they got tackled. You can go back to any other components. If you feel it's the agility which caused them not to successfully change the success rate, having the ball, then we work on that part. Okay? Every indicator here is not to get the numbers out. What do you do with the numbers that you have? That is all matter. And how, what you are doing, going to change the results in future competition. What you do, you have numbers, and then in between another match, you do some intervention here. Intervention means you do anything to change something, is called as intervention. You are doing something to change the outcome. And then they go for another match, and then you collect the same data. You don't collect ABC here, and then go and collect DEF here. You cannot compare, you cannot see whether they improve or not. If you're collecting ABC, and you're focused on improving A this time, next time go and collect ABC, see whether the A improve or not. If in this case agility, look back. If it's a basketball player, agility very important. For badminton, agility very important. So how good is the agility? But how did you measure agility? Go back to the indicators of yourself. How do you count agility? How will you count agility? What is the definition of agility for you? If you look at the video of a basketball player, how do you give mark for a basketball player in terms of agility? How fast he move to receive the ball, and then reaction is interrelated to agility, but agility is mostly physical component, how fast they move. Reaction is the first movement. After that, agility, the physical components will take over. So how do you measure? Okay, go back to the definition. Agility is the ability of some changing direction. Ability of someone to change in direction fast without losing their balance. So if you can measure that, go back to the definition, and then relate it to your sports. If I'm taking basketball and running, I'm changing direction, that's how you measure. Okay? Okay, give me tactical KPIs. Tactical, we are talking about tactical. We are done with technique. Physical, technique. Technique, number of passes, number of shots, number of aerial ball, how many headings, okay, how many long pass, short pass, all that, how many tackle. But how about tactical? How do you, No, we are trying to see the general word that we use for in around. Tactical meaning what? Okay, strategies, decision making. How do you measure that? How do you measure strategy? How do you measure decision making? Okay, give me a word that you will put as KPI for any sports. If you want to measure tactical, what are the words that you use? Skill. How do you measure skill from a video? Targets. That is not tactical. That is physical component. Whether I reach the target or not. Remember, I said it's about the situation. It's about the situation. What situation usually happen in sports? Attack and defense. Either you attack or you defend. That is the most common happening around the sports. I don't know is there any sports they don't have attack and defense? For individual sport, I think like water sports, skill sports, like what is that? Bowling. Bowling, because it's involved me. It doesn't involve. Because skills, sports, they have open skill and closed skill. Okay, open skill and closed skill. Closed skill means I do on my own. I don't bother my opponent sitting there waiting for his turn. Example? Archery, shooting. What else? Swimming is they call because he's still beside you. You're still looking at him. So they can co in between both. What else? Individual sports. Already said. Diving, gymnastic. So we cannot say attack or defense. So what is the tactical there? What is the tactical in diving? Tactical in any individual sports. What will be the tactical there? No, we are going back to technique here. We are talking about tactical. Tactical. Remember, now we already covered this physical, technical. We are talking about tactical here. Tactical for individual sports, like diving.
Strategy or the plan that is there.
What strategy? Specific.
For example, if you're diving, it's already rehearsed on what you're going to do, how many spins you're going to
Okay, so what is the strategy there? You already planned that on the day. What will you change? Okay, preparation strategy, very good. That is preparation strategy. I know because that in diving or skill sports, the measurement will depends on the difficulty of the movement. The scoring will based on the difficulties of the movement. If I just jump from here straight, I will not get point. If a diving, if I rotate 360, compared to my opponent can come and do double somersault, another person come and do triple somersault, who will win? Yes, because she's doing something difficult. So the practice, so your strategy during practice, your game plan is during practice. Okay, some sports, example like karate. Karate, they have two events. One called as kata, another called as kumite. Kata meaning that performance. Like I said, it's a I do. My opponent will play after me. Understand? You all have seen performance. Performance in combat sports. In taekwondo, we call pumse and kyorugi. Pumse means performance based. I don't fight with my opponent. Another event is fighting. I fight with him. That is called as kumite in karate. Okay? We leave kumite first. We talk about tactical for kata. Kata is I'm performing. After I perform, my opponent will come and perform. The judges will give score. Same goes to taekwondo. Same goes to any sports, wushu, all this performance. So how will I have strategy here? How will I have on the day? How will I come out with tactical to measure? Okay, now they have different kata, like I said. Okay, different kata performance. So they have easy, moderate, difficult. So you're going to fight with someone. So you choose your kata based on who's you're going to fight against. If you're fighting, you have 3 kata practice and you have 3 rounds. Understand or not? You have 3. You know 3 performance. Performance A, performance B, performance kata A, kata B, kata C. Now you're going to fight with someone. Out of these 3 countries, one is strong, one is not strong, one is moderate. So I use the kata which is easy to fight against easy opponent. If I use the difficult one that I know, because you only can do that kata once. Next time you cannot do the same kata. You are allowed to use it only once. So the strategy is, okay, I use this kata A to fight the easy country. And then when I'm fighting with a difficult country coming in, I use the most difficult one to fight with them. So all this will come after the draw. Once you have the draw, you see who's fighting with who. Then we'll sit down. Okay, we use this for him. We use this for him. We use this.
Know about the opponent.
Yes, definitely. That is the whole purpose of this analysis, game analysis. Knowing about us and knowing about the opponent's strength and weakness. That is our job. As a game analysis, as a performance analysis, this is our job. That is why we have to go with them for every competition. Every competition we travel around. For this sports, that sports during competition. So our work starts from day one. We have database, we have profiling from previous analysis. We wait for the draw. Once the draw is out, take the file out. If it's individual or if it's a team sports, this is the role. This is how it will benefit for someone to have a performance analyst in your team. Because coach cannot cover everything. They already have a lot of work to do. Coach already have a lot of work. So they don't have time to look into all this. This is our job. As a performance analyst, this is our job, keep track of everything. So even sometimes when we compare on the day, maybe that opponent can be a good opponent. But on the day, we also observe. We don't rely on our previous data. On the day when he's fighting with someone else, when he's playing with someone else, we observe how is his performance on the day. Because he might be good last time, or he might be not doing good for previous competition. On the day, he might be performing well. So we cannot rely on this data alone. We have to observe during the competition as well. When you record, okay, what changes they made compared to our previous data. And then list down. Okay, coach, here you go. We'll give the important points. We don't give 10 points, 20 points. 2 points, 3 points. Like someone said, we have code words for that. We just give them that. We don't write essay and give. We cannot do that. They don't have time to read all this. This player A, his opponent that he's going to fight, he'll give. Take this. When they say, they know, okay, what to do. But will 100% of them will win because of this data? Just because we have this data, can we say that all of them will win? Never. It doesn't work like that. Okay, there's no linear relationship. There's no linear relationship. Okay, because we are only talking about tactical here. We haven't moved to psychological. Psychological plays very important role, because if you don't have a good, you are not in a good mental state for the day, this will collapse, this will collapse, this will collapse. Okay? Physical, you'll become slow, you'll become weak. Technical, you'll make a lot of error. Okay? Tactical, you won't be able to do what the coach asks you to do. Very important. Psychological, very important. Without this, you don't talk about this, this and this. Where do you start to train them this? Where do you start? From day one. From day one, you train, understand the psychological characteristic of your athlete and train them to prepare for high-level competition from day one. So what do we train for? What do we train for? Psychologically, what do we train for? Why when they go for competition, they cannot perform? The pressure is different. During training, there's no pressure. During training, you're allowed to do whatever you want. And you are not doing your training like how you will compete. You do your training, you're comfortable, you're in your zone, in your comfort zone. You talk story with your friends. When you go to competition, will you have time for that? No. So adding pressure during training will prepare them psychologically. How to add pressure? How to add pressure during training? Game simulation. Bring in another college to come and play. Every week. Every week play. So we do this. We do this. We bring in a team, and then without my players know, we'll tell them, you go and beat them. You foul them. You foul them, you hit them. Why we are doing that? Because that might happen during in real situation. If you don't prepare them here, they don't know how to handle it there. So we will record. This is part of game analysis. This is part of how we solve problems. Okay? We record when they are hitting, how they are responding psychologically. Are they getting angry, or are they doing something to take their own time? Are they coming out for a while, breathing, say refocus, and going back again? Those are the strategies we use. Okay? So by time, they know how to handle the pressure. So we don't have this issue, but we'll have issue here, here and here. Okay? I put this in this form because physical, without good physical, you cannot do a good technique. Without good physical, if you're not strong enough, you cannot throw very far. Throwing is technique, right? Kicking is technique. Punching is technique. Hitting a ball is technique. We are called. But if I don't have a good physical, I cannot perform well. If I'm not flexible, if I'm not reacting well, all that will affect my technique. So what do you train first? Psychological, without this, you don't talk anything. Okay, if he's not ready to become an elite athlete, don't waste your time with him or her. Don't waste your time. Because you will work so hard, these three components, you'll go for competition, you'll be disappointed. They won't do what they train for. They won't do. So you only work on these three when you know I think this boy or this girl I can train him. Go back to the characteristic of a person, how much they want it. Okay, that is another topic we'll discuss later. Now we stick to this, okay? So examples include scoring efficiency, work rate, possession time, and defensive. How long a ball, I share a link today. Did you all manage to watch? How long someone will have contact with the ball for a match, 90 minutes match? You know what do they mean by 2 minutes? How many times I touch the ball? You count time. I have the ball, I run, someone take away. Okay, 3 seconds. And then next time they pass the ball, I take the ball, I pass the ball, 1 second. Another time, someone passing the ball, I hit the ball, 1 second. So in 90 minutes, someone have ball contact for 2 minutes. Can someone take the calculator and count how many percentage is that? 2 minutes out of 90 minutes. One point? 2.2 percentage. If we round it up, 2 percentage. But how long they train for a match? How long do you train for that match? Years and years and years. So that player, Indian player, right? What's his name? Sunil Shetty. So what he's saying is right. If you don't have that mental endurance, remember this word, mental endurance, not only for your game, it's for the ability for you to handle pressure for long duration of time. As long as you have that, you cannot go very far if you don't have that, because you will give up. Because sometimes you'll be sitting on the bench, sitting on the bench as a substitute, and you won't even play. Coach will not put you in. If you're not strong here, what will you do? You will be demotivated during training. You will thinking, why am I training for? What am I training for? I'm not even playing. Coach is not even putting me in. Okay, so the mental endurance is very important. The motivation is very important. Okay? So that is, we are talking about psychological. Examples. Okay, KPI should be relevant, measurable, and linked to performance outcome. This is very important. You don't have to have 30, 40, 50, the things that you want to see. Technically, I want to see all the techniques, or 1 or 2 techniques. Tactically, I want to see 1 or 2 or 3. Conversion rate, how many times attack convert into defense. How many times our defenders manage to stop the ball before they enter the danger zone. In any sports, there's a danger zone. How many times they let the ball pass from left, right? Very important position. Data which very important, relevant. Because you will work on the defender's weakness. If you know a lot of ball coming from the right side, entering, all the ball scores come from right side. You cannot blame the left side defender. Then you need to see what happened. Okay, then someone, it's 10:30. You know our class today is supposed to start at 9:30, or you're not aware? You're not aware? Okay. So, where was I? So this is I call as distraction, psychological effect.
So can we mention that?
Okay, we take break. Let's take break 5 minutes. We'll start again. Okay? Take 5 minutes break.
session and personalize basically the observation panel of a match or of any event. So the idea is to be familiar with the toolbox today, understand the various layout options. So the toolbox being, if I'm back here, be familiar with the toolbox is more about understanding the various different configuration settings of creating a panel. Understand the various layout options just to nicely lay out and nicely show up basically your different buttons, and understanding also how to use the team manager tool, which constitutes some kind of a database tool, allowing you to track information, track events per players, and basically also down the line to retrieve information through the player list.
We're going to primarily talk about the tagging panel, which is, as we all know, on this right-hand side. That, really, this is important for every analyst, for every kind of sport, whether it's individual or not. This is where you start to kind of conceptualize and bring together a lot of your ideas in terms of data gathering and video gathering. It's really important to kind of have this understanding of what you want to find. What is it that your staff want to find, whether it's head coaches or technical directors, or whether it's actually you and the athlete. You might be the head coach yourself, so what's important to you. There's also a line there when you are the analyst, there's maybe things in there that you want to try and show, filter through and evidence as important KPIs, key performance indicators. So understanding that structure that you work in, everyone's different. You might be just starting out as an analyst, you might be 20 years down the road as an analyst. And as you take your journey, this will always be probably at the middle of your workflow. Is what are you gathering? Why are you gathering it? When are you gathering it? So trying to understand those questions as best as possible will really give direction to what you're collecting, and hopefully worth to what you're collecting. I think that's probably one of the biggest points I have to stress. Is what you're gathering going to make the boat go faster? We talk about the 1% all the time. It's exactly the same within data gathering, video gathering from a tagging panel. Is what you're gathering going to make your boat go faster? Now, that question might be slightly different if you're into research projects. That's a whole different ball game. You might be doing a dissertation or a research methodology into finding out new and exciting things. That's when the questions might change a little bit. So I'm saying it from maybe a sports perspective. Does your boat go faster by what you're collecting? What's important here and now to achieve what you need to achieve? Again, that changes slightly if you're in winning versus development, or data versus video. It's just finding out where are you on that continuum and then building towards that. So within Dartfish, this is important because whatever we collect here needs to reflect into the report panel and also into our events playlist at the bottom to when we add video into the montage. So everything we collect here affects these two little modules quite heavily. Now, what I've designed here is a tagging panel. I just want to start off with maybe how the tagging panel should look. If you've got the software up in front of you or you're taking notes, I showed this in the first one, is to make the screen as big as possible and the tagging panel as big as possible. So I usually go FN and press 9, makes the screen big, and I press Control Shift P and it brings up the panel next to it. If you want to add the events list at the bottom, no problem. You just go into view and you can again select any of these. These are the shortcuts, just showing you where they are and events. Now we've got that, and I've maximized the space on the screen to work with. To get out of that, it's just FN9 again, and it takes you back down to where you can see everything and operate the platform. So here I've designed the tagging panel, and as we use it, how I've done it is we start with home or away in terms of a possession. These are continuous event buttons. I'm going to show you how to build this exact panel as we go through this 45-minute webinar. So this is continuous button. So whenever I press home or away, it will put it into the bottom here. And whatever one I'm on at that point in time. So for me, in this game of football, and we're in possession of the ball, it might be actually your tennis player is serving, it might be, a certain golf shot. And now from here, I'm now entering some other event data. And these are still event buttons. So a continuous event button is on or off. So it's on or it's off. So the away team, we've got the ball or we've got the ball. So it's either or. And then event buttons are those with the timestamp in them. So here there's a pre-roll of 5 and they're 10 seconds long each. I haven't messed around with the times and seconds. I don't want to confuse us and think too deep into how long a clip should be at this point. That will become really obvious to you as you get working with it. So, if it's home and we get into the final third, it's now tagging us as we're in possession and we've had a final third entry. Every time I click on any of these, it adds it as a new entry for home event, as you can see. Come back to that one in a sec. So let's say the away team get it. Right, they're now in possession of the ball. They now have a final third entry, a penalty box entry across. Enters that as new information. If you've had other tagging panels before and you've been using them on your platform, it's a good idea just to reset the columns, just so then you only have the categories and columns that apply to that tagging panel. So that's just right click onto anywhere along the title header there and just press reset column. It will take away the ones that are not in use. And as you add new ones from here, it will populate them at the bottom. You would have seen there, as I press onto any of these, so if I go into home event, for example, I press turnover, I go home here, and I press turnover. Now flip this into a new tab. These are now keyword buttons. Keyword buttons are buttons that just add description and added detail to an event. So, for example, I press turnover, I'm now adding some event. Was it a tackle with recovery? Now these KPIs and
did any one of you had the chance to watch this video, which I sent in the link?
To confuse us too much and actually.
The first message I sent, that fish link there. That fish help.
So let's call it recovery. I can now see.
The first day I sent a long message. I said there's a link there. Press the link to go and see what are all the help tools available on how to use that fish. Did any one of you? No. And why is that? Didn't get what?
That fish was not installed on my laptop. I saw this product.
No, but you all know there's a Datfish help website, right? You can go and choose what you want to learn from Datfish. Whatever we did yesterday, you all talk about the angle, keep missing, all the solutions are there. Like I said, we cannot focus on the tools itself for our workshop. You should make your own initiative to learn the tools. We will only teach you what to look, when to look, what to look and when to look at the right thing. That is important, okay? Even without this, after 2 months it will expire. What will you do if you depend on this? We cannot do anything. That's why we are not spending much time with this. We are spending much time with the creativity and how we can utilize the knowledge that we have. Okay? So I thought the reason I sent, because I thought you all will be ready with this to do tagging panel. Okay, tagging panel A from scratch until finish in 40 minutes, 38 minutes video. If you spend 40 minutes, you already have a tagging panel by now. Okay. So next session until 11:30, we'll go through theory also. And then the following session, we'll start our practical because 2 hours in afternoon will not enough. We start a bit of creating tagging panel. And then after lunch, we go and do some practical session. We record the video. We come back. And then we use the tagging panel to do notational analysis to tag. Okay?